going on, Jeromes? So, unfortunately, it's mock draft season for the Minnesota Vikings, and our guy Jordan Reed over at ESPN just put out his 2024 first-round mock draft. And no spoilers, no major spoilers, but so the Vikings have a crack at Penix and McCarthy and Bo Nix at 11. They pass. They pass. And also, only one of those guys go in the first round, and it's not Penix or Nix. What's interesting is that, so I found, like, in the comments as well as on social media, like, Bo Nix has the most fervent defenders, which is so weird, man. Which is weird. Anyways, the Vikings go, we have the meats with Illinois' defensive lineman, JER'Zhan Newton, who's been a draft crush of mine for quite a while. And I think that defensive line, I mean, quarterback of the future is quarterback of the future. It's the most important position in all team sports, and the Vikings do have to estate plan for after Kirk Cousins. But, I mean, beyond that, defensive line is a major issue for the Vikings. And, you know, it's weird. So the Vikings traditionally, great defensive lines. The Purple People Eaters, the Williams Wall, John Randall and company, but it's something that's been lacking over the last couple of years. And also, the Vikings haven't spent a first or second round pick on the defensive line since Sharif Floyd. Sharif don't like it. No, back in 2013. So the Vikings have to get back to, we have the meats on the inside, and JER'Zhan Newton certainly will be a good step in the right direction. Here's what Jordan wrote. Number 11, Vikings, JER'Zhan Newton, defensive tackle, the Illinois. The Vikings are a prime candidate to take a quarterback. I almost made the move here, but there's a good chance Kirk Cousins return to Minnesota. I'll give the Vikings a chance to instead take one of the best defensive players in the draft. Outside of Danielle Hunter, who is a free agent this offseason, Minnesota had a severe lack of talent along its defensive front, which is true. One of my favorite overall prospects in this class, regardless of position, Newton is a disruptive three-tech who finished the season with 42 pressures, 7.5 sacks, and 11.4% defensive pressure rate, and he simply doesn't come off the field. His 715 snaps ranked 7th among all FBS defensive linemen 2023. Newton can play from multiple alignments, and he could be included in creative third down packages because of his versatility and explosiveness as a pass rusher. And Jordan's absolutely right. Where beyond Danielle Hunter, like, there was no one up front who could generate their own pass rush, and that's why Flores had to blitz so much and try to just milk out some sort of a pressure on the quarterback, because guys simply couldn't get off of blocks. And you look, I mean, Dean Lowry was past his sell-by date, and Jonathan Bullard's more of a run defense guy, and Harrison Phillips is playing his ass off, except the Vikings just couldn't get it done up front. And you know, if the Vikings circle back in the second round and make a move and find their quarterback there and take Newton up at the top, I wouldn't necessarily be upset about it. And beyond rushing the passer, I mean, just stopping the run, Vikemodium, stopping the runs, that's going to be a major part of it. And JER'Zhan Newton can certainly do that. So let's talk about him today. Background: 21 years young, 6'2", 295, a former 3-star recruit from Clearwater, Florida, and 3-year starter for Illinois, and 2-time first-team All-Big Ten, consensus All-American 2023, Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year in 2023 as well. Career 184 tackles, 18 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 5 batted passes, an 85.1 PFF grade in 2023. 77.1% against the 77.1 grade against the run, generated 43 pressures as well as had 32 stops, which is good, which is pretty damn good. Also, he's probably he is the top defensive lineman in this class, maybe the only first rounder, but it's going to be like the classes usually find, where it's devalued, especially guys like T'Vondre Sweat, guys like Murphy, guys like Chris Jenkins. Like, you know, teams don't take nose tackles up in the first round unless you're Dexter Lawrence and the Giants, which seem to have worked out pretty damn good, right? Or Vita Vea with the Bucks. So I think that those guys are going to be racked up and stacked up in day 2, which, you know, could be yum time for the Vikings as well. But Newton, so great punch, great hands. That's what really stands out about him right away. Now, he doesn't have like the lightning quick get off like a Ron Donald or like a Sharif Floyd. But he does have an adequate first step. He's got a great nose for the football. He's always seeking out contact, and he's strong. He holds his ground for his size, and he's disruptive. Like that's the main thing. Now there are some questions about, you know, his size. Can he take on double teams at the next level? But I think that he certainly can. He plays a great leverage, has good bend, and he is a three-down defensive tackle. Like, he's not a guy who has to be a specialist. He's good against the run on early downs. He can certainly get after it, get after the passer on third down, and there are going to be some concerns about him being undersized and him having short arms, and also him being a true blue three tech. Like, where does he fit in along the Vikings defensive front, especially if the Vikings stick with the odd front? But, like I always say, you don't have your players fit your scheme. You fit your scheme around your players. And it would just be stupid if Newton doesn't find himself a role. Now, could he play more of a 4-tech, 4-eye, a 5-tech? Could he play like could he play like a third and long nose tackle? Sure. I think that he could fit in those things, but putting him in the B gap and just having him blow things up would be great. Now, the easy comp for all undersized 3-techs is Aaron Donald. I don't think he's quite that, but could he be like a lighter Jeffrey Simmons? Certainly could see that, but I think either way, like, the Vikings do have to do something about the defensive line, and getting the 1-1 guy along the defensive interior in this draft, whilst still securing your quarterback of the future, making a move day 2, or potentially trading back into the first round, I wouldn't be mad at it. Certainly would not be mad at it at all. But your thoughts are thoughts. ESPN's latest mock draft: Vikings go defensive lineman instead of quarterback. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.